Arsenal's grasp on the league championship is slipping. As Easter arrives, can they maintain their challenge? Liverpool are coming on strong just at the right time. Today we'll look at all the title contenders. Also a round-up of the Scottish Cup quarter-finals that produced a dozen goals and 3 sendings off. And from Kempton Park on the opening day of the flat racing season, hopefully we'll be joined by John McCririck and Johnny Frankham, and I hope that they've got a couple of good tips for us, Jim. But now, before we get underway, can we just talk about last week's rugby bet, which is now null and void? We both drew, so that's null and void, so we're going to have a little wager on today's boat race, I think, Saint.
But I went to neither of those universities.
Well, neither did I, but I'm going to go for Cambridge. You'll have to go for Oxford, because I can't go into Cambridge on Monday and lecture the lads on advanced physics and, you know, give me a load of...
So I'm Oxford.
You're Oxford, I'm Cambridge, and what a strange sport it is, isn't it? The winners dipping their cocks in the river afterwards. It's a strange old sport.
The match is off today. Yeah, only one up in Scotland there, Clyde and Partick. Right, well, first today, we discussed the destiny of the Barclays League title. And following the midweek matches, the field has really narrowed down to just 4 contenders. Liverpool have distanced themselves from Nottingham Forest in 5th place by 6 points, but Kenny Dalglish's men are still trail Arsenal by 8 points with 2 games in hand. Now, it's worth remembering that Liverpool have to play all 3 of the sides above them, and additionally, Arsenal must play Norwich at Highbury. Well, Easter generally sorts out the men from the boys, but this year there's a lot of football to be played in the 7 weeks between Easter and the final Saturday of the league season. Arsenal's challenge for the title has been faltering lately, but they're still in pole position with the points in the bag. Here's Martin Tyler.
Highbury is becoming a handicap for the First Division leaders. Arsenal have scored more goals and collected more points away from their below-par pitch. Charlton's own needs gave Arsenal their latest problems on Tuesday. An excellent run here by Robert Lee. Paul Mortimer volleying past John Lukic. The immediate response from George Graham's team was encouraging enough. Alan Smith earning a free kick. It was taken quickly by Brian Marwood and tempted goalkeeper Bob Boulder to come off his line, only for David Rocastle to nip in for the equaliser. 6 minutes later, Arsenal were in front, and in a game of excellent goals, this the most exciting of the 4. Charlton caught with defenders upfield at an earlier free kick, a sweeping break here, Kevin Richardson pulling wide to the near side, and Paul Davis furthest forward for Arsenal to collect a truly spectacular goal in his comeback game after 2 months of injury. But Arsenal's current defensive shortcomings surfaced again midway through the second half, exposed by the skills of Steve McKenzie. Just 6 points for Arsenal from their last 6 games. The night hadn't finished for George Graham, but his talks with Celtic's Frank McAvenny weren't successful. McAvenny preferring to rejoin West Ham.
I was a bit disappointed. I obviously wanted him here. I thought he would add the experience. He's a quality player. But at the end of the day, Frank decided to go to West Ham purely for financial reasons, and possibly because he's got a love affair with West Ham, being a big favourite there. And obviously he reminded him of his good times in the past. But it was mainly a financial deal. Their deal was better than ours.
You know what it's like to go through and win a championship as a player. Have you been able to reflect back on that experience to try and solve these problems, to try and get the boys back to the sort of level of performance that they've had before? Yeah, they're still young. Quite a few of them are still young. They've never had this situation. We've been at the top of the league the past couple of years, but that's around about Christmas. Now we're at the top of the league at Easter, and 1 or 2 of them obviously are, you know, not on form. But the only way through that actually is to keep working at your game and sort of try to recover your form. Other than that, then possibly I would maybe change some faces.
Norwich City are now some people's championship favourites. They could still win the double too. But one factor against them could be that 7 of the last 11 matches are away. But having said that, the Canaries have been formidable on the road.
Carrow Road has never seen the championship trophy. Football's country cousins have been off the beaten track. And even now, the league's second-place team aren't attracting the publicity that manager Dave Stringer, coach Dave Williams and the players deserve. To quote their club anthem, they have been on-the-ball city, with Brian Gunn in particular not minding the danger. The big goalkeeper has had an impressive season. These saves at Millwall in January, typical of Gunn's agility. Forwards like Dale Gordon have been no flash in the pan, as Norwich have defied their doubters and stayed the course in the championship chase. Welsh international Malcolm Allen has started to chip in consistently with goals in League and the FA Cup, where Norwich are through to the semi-finals. It won't worry them that 7 of their remaining 11 league games are away. On their travels, they provided some devastating finishes.
Freeman crossing the ball in, and Salmon was shadowing Fleck well. There's Fleck again! A terrific goal for Norwich in the last seconds.
Fellow professionals are full of admiration for Norwich City, like Liverpool's Peter Beardsley.
No disrespect to Arsenal are still a good side, but I think the biggest problem we've got at the moment is Norwich. I think everybody writes Norwich off, but they're a good side, and even when they've had a bad result, they've always bounced back and won the next one. So that's a sign of a good team, and Norwich won't be far away at the end.
Millwall are still the outsiders for the title. Their run-in looks pretty tough, although they only meet Liverpool of the other top clubs. Whatever happens, it's been some year down the old Kent Road.
Millwall's home record down at Coldblow Lane is the cornerstone of their surprising championship challenge. It's the best in the division, and manager John Docherty can puff with pride at their achievements. They've been strongly tipped to win the title by no less than Aston Villa's Graham Taylor, after Millwall's latest win over Villa last Saturday.
Sheringham, McCleary, Les Briley, back to Sheringham again. Cascarino looking to get it on the turn. Sheringham wanting it, and it might come to O'Callaghan. Millwall ahead. Now what's Carter going to do? It's floated in there, and it's knocked away by Ormonroyd. Carter again, trying another cross in. Cascarino's head found that one. Hurlock! A terrific goal for Millwall.
Well, we've been keeping very quiet all the time, Martin, Try to do a Liverpool, really, because Liverpool have been winning championships over the years and keeping a very low profile. They let other people talk for them. We've been delighted the way the season's gone, really. We thought we would have a decent season, but I don't know if we expected to be actually as good as this. But everyone's delighted up till now.
But looking at the table, you can win the championship.
It's possible. Yes, it is possible. But we're really not speaking about that. John has mentioned it once or twice, and the chairman has during the season, on and off. But generally speaking, it's just been talking about the game that's been coming up. And although it's going to be quite vital over Easter, it's also vital for the remaining 5 or 6 weeks that's left.
Liverpool are the ominous threat. They appear to be taking a back seat in the championship race, but a string of resounding results since New Year has left them breathing down the leader's neck. They've still to play them all and are the most bookish favourite for the title that they won in such style last year.
Houghton, space for Beardsley. 3 Liverpool players in the middle, if Beardsley needs them. He doesn't! A supreme goal! Champions, and in the centenary year of the Football League there can be no more appropriate winners. Of the top 4, Liverpool are the only club with recent experience of the joys of winning the title, and they've plenty of that, and the mental toughness needed to come through the run-in unscathed. Last year's champagne matched the quality of their vintage football. It hasn't been the same this time, with injuries in particular disrupting the flow. But are Liverpool coming good again, just at the right time? There was more evidence to support that argument at Coventry on Wednesday.
Klein. Oh, what a bad ball! In for Barnes! And a goal for Liverpool! A dreadful mistake there by Brian Kilcline. And Liverpool punished it to the full. Staunton. Barnes is in there, Aldridge is in there, and that does count. And now it is 2. Fine Smith. There's the Left-foot cross coming in. Phillips on this side, dinking it back again towards Cyril Regis. And touched in eventually by Bannister. Off the referee. Might still come for Whelan with a shot. A little chip. Delightful goal. Ronnie Whelan.
Looking good, Liverpool in fourth place. Looking over their shoulders, the three clubs above them.
I had to bet, I would think possibly Liverpool could maybe sneak through, because they've done it so often in the past. And when they get in front, it doesn't look as though it's a burden to them. It looks as though they enjoy being in front. Other teams seem to find all of a sudden, after playing remarkably well, the pressure comes on them. And that's what I'm talking about, the creative side. The creative side of Liverpool is still good whether they're at the top of the league or 5 points behind.